Sony is facing a major lawsuit over the PlayStation Store, more details on The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered Roguelike mode, a PlayStation mobile studio rebrands itself, and PS5 comfortably dominated European sales in October. All that and more in today's PlayStation news. Let's get to them. Sony is set to face a £5 billion class action lawsuit equivalent to $6.27 billion over allegations of overcharging PlayStation Store customers. The lawsuit was filed by Alex Neil on behalf of 8.9 million PlayStation customers in August last year, and now the UK's Competition Appeal Tribunal has granted approval for the case to proceed to trial. Neil alleged that Sony is using their near monopoly on digital game sales to enforce strict terms for game developers and publishers, like charging a 30% cut, which results in excessive and unfair prices to consumers. Sony has been trying to stop the lawsuit from going through by saying the case was flawed from start to finish, since you could argue most stores charge 30% to developers, and that includes Xbox and Nintendo, since it's less on PC. However, I would say that one key point that differentiates Sony from Microsoft or Nintendo, and that they may fall on a monopolistic approach, is that on PlayStation you cannot buy game codes from any other store, since the company changed the system in favor of digital wallet funds. But that's just my thoughts, as I'm not a lawyer. Alex Neil shared some words indicating that this is the first step in ensuring consumers get back what they are owed as a result of Sony breaking the law. PlayStation gamers' loyalty has been taken advantage of by Sony, who have been charging them excessive prices for years. It is significant that the competition court has recognized Sony must explain its actions by ordering them to trial. With this action, we are seeking to put a stop to this unlawful conduct and ensure customers are compensated. The trial may take several years to conclude, but if successful, each class member could be entitled to damages ranging from £67 to £562, plus interest unless they opt out. We have more details on The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered, specifically its new roguelike mode, which will consist of 12 levels as revealed by a Naughty Dog QA tester's LinkedIn profile. The information discovered by Twitter user Jonastic suggests a structured level system for the new mode in the remastered version of the game, with the employee having created, implemented and tested AI dialogue for each of the 12 regions in engine and more. Besides that, for anyone worrying about the WLF physical edition including a disc, because Naughty Dog or Sony didn't say anything, and these days you never know, a PlayStation PR representative has confirmed to Pushquare that The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered will come with a disc, a change from the Part 1 Remake Firefly Edition, which received a disc in North America but a code in Europe. Bonnie Jean Ma, former franchise narrative director for the Gears of War series, has joined Sony Santa Monica Studio as a narrative director. Ma brings her extensive experience from the Coalition, where she oversaw narrative development for Gears of War titles, plus a background in film and TV since she entered the gaming industry in 2008, and has worked on notable titles like Warhammer 40,000: Space Marine and Age of Empires 4. Her role at Santa Monica Studio may involve shaping narratives for God of War games, or that mysterious Cory Barlog project, and other media content including the upcoming God of War TV series. German developer Savage Game Studios has undergone a rebranding, becoming Neon Koi, with a new focus on action games and a mission to create titles with epic stories that build lasting connections with players worldwide. The shift follows leadership changes and the departure of key figures such as CEO Mikhail Katkov, raising questions about the fate of Neon Koi's involvement in bringing PlayStation into the mobile gaming space, as SIE acquired them in August last year for that purpose. Despite uncertainties, the studio is pushing forward with its new identity and mission. Notably, the website lacks mention of mobile games, so maybe they will focus on PS5 development. European sales results for October are here, and PS5 comfortably led sales along with great results for Spider-Man 2, even if it didn't rank first. The gaming chart was led by EA Sports FC24 with 10% less when compared to last year when it was still FIFA. Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Mirage ranked second, surpassing Spider-Man 2 by a narrow margin. Spider-Man 2's PS5 launch was strong with 30% more sales when compared to the original Spider-Man, but it didn't outsell last year's blockbuster God of War Ragnarok. However, that's because Ragnarok launched on two platforms, and when accounting for only PS5 sales, Spider-Man 2 outsold God of War Ragnarok by 8% after 2 weeks. Other new releases included Super Mario Wonder at number 4 and Lords of the Fallen at 6. Below that, MGS Collection at 16, and UFC 5 was next at 17. A disclaimer that Nintendo does not share digital data. In terms of hardware, 481,000 consoles were sold, with PS5 dominating, up 143% year over year, while Nintendo Switch ranked second despite a 20% drop in sales, and the Xbox Series struggled with a 52% drop. Sony's competition fared better when comparing sales to September, with PS5 up by 11%, Switch by 10%, and Xbox still down but only by 20%. Overall European game sales totaled 10.21 million units sold, which represented a slight 2.3% drop year on year, with 1.14 million accessories down 3.6% against last year, but total sales were up by 16%. The PlayStation Plus catalog has been updated this week with new games such as Teardown, Dragon's Dogma, Dead Island Riptide, and more. 52% of you guys approved this update, with the 46% majority giving it 4 stars and 6% giving it 5 stars. But the remaining 48% was very mixed between 3 stars and below. And over 50% of you will be playing Dragon's Dogma Dark Horizon. We talked about Baldur's Gate 3 and the Lord of the Rings Gollum trials in the previous episode, but this update also brought new trials for Terraformers, Ride 5, and F1 Manager 2023. We also know the games leaving next month on December 19th, and the list includes Caladius Blaze, Damascus Gear Operation Tokyo HD Edition, Elijo a Wild West Tale, Foreclosed, Friday the 13th, Legends of Eternal, Shadow of Mordor, Shadow of War, The Escapist 2, Yakuza 6, and Yakuza Like a Dragon. So you have a few more weeks if you want to play or finish any of them. The next PlayStation Plus update will be on November 29th, when we'll learn the monthly games for December. Now time for a round of quickfire gaming news. Bungie has unveiled a Witcher-inspired collaboration for Destiny 2, launching during the upcoming Season of the Witch on November 28. The crossover introduces Geralt of Rivia themed gear, including armor ornaments, a ghost shell, sparrow, sheep, an emote, and a finisher. As you may imagine, fans didn't receive this well, with many expressing concerns about the current state of the game and the cost of these cosmetics, which could be more than what The Witcher 3 with all its DLC is at right now. Despite recent rumors covered in our previous video suggesting the demise of the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic remake, reports now indicate that several Saber Interactive developers are actively working on the project. Jason Schreier from Bloomberg confirmed this on Resetera and Twitter, stating that 2 developers at the studio have told him they are still working on it. This doesn't confirm the game will ever come out, but at least it's not completely cancelled. Another troubled remake is Ubisoft Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time, but according to the publisher it has reached an important internal milestone, as they shared on Twitter. The French company didn't specify the milestone, but at least development is going, and they announced this to celebrate the original's 20th anniversary. The remake was announced in September 2020, being made by Ubisoft Pune and Mumbai, but later faced several delays and was changed to Montreal, the birthplace of the original series. Rockstar Games has redesigned its website in preparation for revealing the long-awaited GTA 6 in early December. The update rebrands the social club to the Rockstar Games platform with a new permanent menu. Simultaneously, the user count for the platform was updated to over 200 million, which is across all Rockstar games on all platforms. Steam's recent update introduces the controller-friendly hub, enabling users to sort games by their preferred gamepad, including DualShock and DualSense. Valve also shared some controller use stats, and while Xbox controllers have long dominated, the PlayStation controller usage has grown by 400%. A PlayStation controller was used in 19% of sessions during the 4-year span ending November 2019, and it now represents 27% of all sessions. Mortal Kombat 11 players are going back in time using an exploit to acquire once free character skins that are now only available as microtransactions. The exploit allows players to unlock seasonal skins for free by manipulating the console date before the season concludes. The fighting game has faced criticism for its pricing and aggressive microtransactions, and while some players have gone this route, Others expect NetherRealm to patch the exploit and take action against those accounts. The 2024 installment of Call of Duty is rumored to be returning to the Black Ops franchise with the working title Call of Duty Black Ops 6. The game is set to focus on the Gulf War, offering a nuanced narrative from the perspective of the CIA and exploring the consequences of decisions made toward the end of the Cold War. The gameplay is expected to feature more traditional military technology, and Zombies mode is rumored to make a return, but unknown if it will retain the current format. The game would release in the usual fall window, with a rumored large pre-order early access bonus, with several days for the base game and maybe even weeks for access to other modes. Developer Larian Studios has advised fans not to buy the Baldur's Gate 3 Deluxe Edition from Scalpers, assuring that there will be enough stock of the physical edition when it launches. The Deluxe Edition is not a limited edition, and additional waves are being prepared to be available in the first quarter of 2024. Scalpers have been reselling confirmed pre-orders at inflated prices, with some listing on auction sites like eBay reaching up to $300. CD Projekt Red finally announced the Cyberpunk 2077 Ultimate Edition for PS5, Xbox Series and PC, including the base game post-update 2.0 and the Phantom Liberty expansion. Releasing on December 5th, the digital version will launch worldwide, while the physical edition is limited to select retailers. Notably, only on PS5 the base game is on disc, but the Phantom Liberty expansion comes as a download code. The reason for that, according to Digital Foundry's John Lindman, is that Sony requires a re-release to be a new SKU, like what happened with the Witcher Complete Edition, which means a new box art on the PlayStation Store and a separate trophy list. This likely requires extra compiling of the game's code with DLC, plus time and money that CD Projekt doesn't want to spend. 3 new titles have been delayed on PlayStation platforms. The first one is Bulletstorm VR, which was set to release for PSVR 2, MetaQuest 2 and PC VR on December 14th, but will now do so on January 18th, 2024. Then Ark Survival Ascended had a PS5 release for the end of November, but the Dino Survival experience will now arrive on Sony's console in early December. Last is Space Marine 2, the third-person action game set in the world of Warhammer 40,000, which was going to launch in winter 2023, but has been pushed back by several months into the second half of 2024. And those are the PlayStation stories for today. What are your thoughts on them? Let us know in the comments below, give this video a thumbs up or down to let me know your feedback, check out more content you may like as well, and subscribe for more on PlayStation. Thank you so much for watching, my name is Joseph, this is Hype for Games, and let's get hype!